So, you might be asking yourself, what is he doing here? Well, we're looking at an older Vassal log from the Season 7 Playtest League. This is a game in particular I like to refer to as Mando's Last Ride. During this part of the Season 7 playtest, there was a request from the competitive league organizers, the steering committee, to have each game feature one Mandalorian Phoenix Rising to see if he was still too powerful to remain in the game in Season 7. And so basically the players would flip a coin and one player would bring a Mando list randomly and the other player would not play Mando that game, and they would bring some other list. Now, I remember I was into running Force user smugglers at the time, and going into this game, I had a Mando list, was not prepared to run him, but, flip of the coin, I got the Mando list, so I brought what I had packing. And this particular game actually spawned a thread afterwards, where myself and Mark discussed the game itself and just Mandalorian in general. And it kind of led to I think what the steering committee is referred to as the final nail in the coffin for let's just retire him from competitive play. That's not to say he would not have been retired without this particular game, but that thread in particular on our IACP Slack channel did blow up particularly large as part of this playtesting league. There were over 100 comments, and that's quite a lot for a single post from someone. Just discussing everything that happens in this game. So I think for the people that were in that thread and commenting, it would be good to see kind of the game itself that led to that particular thread. So this is myself versus Mark. We're actually both running scum lists. I have a Mandalorian-based list, and he has a non-Mando list. So he's decided to run with him double Elite Tuskens, HK-47, one set of HK Assassin droids, Greedo, a regular Jawa scavenger, the Season 7 version of Punishing Strike, which might be outdated here, not sure, and First Strike. So there are some Vassal incompatibilities, so that might be why Punishing Strike is kind of weird here, but I believe that's the Season 7 version that was in the playtest at the time. And funny enough, both of us are running First Strike because we're both running scum lists featuring Bib and Jabba, wanting to get use VPs for things. So to pay for those, we both bought First Strike. So we're actually both starting the game with 8 victory points. Now, it looks like initiative did pass to me, and on my side, I decided to run the Mandalorian, and actually at the time, I was more concerned with the HK Assassin droids. I thought they were going to be a little too powerful. So I can pull up their card here. So I thought they were actually going to be too powerful, particularly because I thought Merciless should have remained as a strain as it was in one point in the competitive testing league. But it got upgraded to a full damage, and I was like, well, if I think that this is so powerful, I'll just run it and show everyone that it's too strong. And I wound up going in and running double HKs with the Mandalorian because I figured this was just kind of the strongest hunter trait trio you could think of. And we'll start running through the game and seeing exactly how this plays out. So we're going to be drawing cards. So, because I was in this game, and it's my same Vassal account and everything, I actually only have control of the first command window, which is weird. I mean, we can see what cards I drew here. But I cannot show you in the big window on the bottom left as a player 3 or anything like that what went on. So, I'll have to pop up cards into the map itself. Now, it looks like I'm going first with Bib, but before we do that, let's go into the mission. This was on Lawful Spaceport, which was in rotation at the time, so I think this was 2 map rotations ago. And this is Market Sabotage. So this is the one where you can go up and interact with your opponent's generator, and if you interact with it 3 times, you score 12 VPs. Doors are locked, and at the end of each round, each player gains a VP for each crate they control, then each player opens a door. You can also recover if you're next to a crate. So by the end of round 2, all 4 of these doors in the center will be open. And then there's like 8 crates spread around the map, and you can use those to recover and to gain a small amount of VPs. But your main VPs are coming from these generators if you can get to them on the opponent's side of the map. So it looks like I'm going out with Bib first, deciding where to place him. I threw a focus onto the Mandalorian, because of course. And then my opponent Mark is also going to go with Bib and put out 2 focuses by spending a VP. Looks like I did the same thing and put an extra focus on one of those HK droids, number A. And then Bib is going to move up. Okay, then we have a Jabba going up to Crate, just going to control that. And I'm going up with the HKs. You can see not a lot of fat in this list because I'm running 3 expensive deployment cards. Mando had been upgraded to a 12-point card. And then 2 HKs that brought my offensive list of units up to 28 points. So 12 points in support between Jabba, Bib, Clan of 2, Black Market, and First Strike. And basically, it seems like I have a very sparse army, only 5 attacking units. And then, of course, Mark over here kind of running the opposite, running 2 groups of Tuskens, a Greedo, a Jawa, a Bib, 1 large unit in HK-47, but then 2 HK Assassin Droids, just kind of running the gambit with a lot of smaller figures. So it looks like right now we're just kind of trading turns. Looks like I'm activating Jabba, and put another focus on one of the HKs, so both A and B are focused. Mark at the top setting up his Tuskens near the doors to get in that melee range, or at least a close gun range for their cyclers. His snipers getting up behind, of course HK-47 not activating yet, to wait for the last activation. Now it looks like I held off on activating HK Assassin Droids 1 and 2 and went with Mando first. Trying to decide where to go, I threw him up to the crate and got him up near the top right door. And then Greedo coming in, looks like he... Let's see, is he taking a shot? No, I guess he might not have had the line of sight from there, or he had to double move to get up there. And then myself moving in with HK-47 and moving in with an HK Assassin Droid to Greedo, and decided it would be best to nerf a focused Greedo shot by throwing out a Toxic Dart. Looks like Greedo going to pay for that 1 strain with a top deck, so Death Blow going to Mark's discard. And then Greedo going to suffer Weaken, which is what I was more concerned with, knowing that Greedo surges for 2 damage, and that he has 3 green die. It just felt like getting rid of a surge on his offense would be great, and if I did manage to attack him before his next turn, having less evades on a white die would be beneficial. Especially because even if I were to take him out, I'd have to suffer his attack anyways. And then it looks like I don't really move up my second droid that much. And then HK just moving up to the middle door. So it looks like we're all set up for round 2. No attacks fired, just a Toxic Dot thrown into Greedo. So we're going to reset and both draw 2 cards going into round 2. Looks like one of us decided to open that door near the bottom center. So this is reverse order of initiative, so that would be Mark opening that door. And then myself opening the other bottom door. So interestingly, I saw Mark open the middle door there, and I said, you know what? I'm going to try and make all of your figures come to me, it looks like. And then I'm going to assume this is a Black Market card. Yeah, because it looks like I maybe gained 2 VPs for crates and then spent 1 to put Black Market in my hand. Mark going to take initiative. I'm going to play the take initiative in my hand. So that's interesting. Looks like I did also draw planning and Black Market prices, so at some point I can get a lot of draws here. So I play the take initiative. I tap Bib Fortuna, so he's not going to go this round. And Mark didn't have a counter for that. So going into round 2, I am ready to decimate this Greedo. I'm going to go in with the Mandalorian and do Beskar Spear. So remembering what he does, I think he gets a reroll. Yep. So he's going to reroll that yellow. Because of Weaken, again, Greedo's not going to have that evade. So it's just 1 block versus 5, 6, 7 damage and pierce. So that's going to be a a Greedo that's already dead, but Greedo's going to return the fire on Bib Fortuna, who's standing over by the terminal. And if this kills Bib, that could be very detrimental to me. So Bib rolling the 3 dice and the +1, gonna get 3, 4, 5. Yeah, gonna roll 6 straight damage. That's enough to kill Bib unless he rolls 2 block. Of course, he does roll the triple block. However, I think with the Surge, that would have... Because Bib surges for +2. Or sorry, Greedo surges for +2. So again, this would have killed Bib. This would have been 8 total damage onto Bib Fortuna. This would have killed even a triple block. So that weaken from the Toxic Dart actually saved Bib's life here. Unless my opponent is going to pitch. Let me see. So he dies. Bib goes to 4. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so Bib only took 3... 4. Yeah, Bib only took 3, I think, because of the triple block. I think if it had been a 2 block, Mark could have used his Bib's ability to add a damage and kill the Bib Fortuna on my side. But because of the triple block and the weaken, he remained safe. So Mando is going to lose the focus, but he's going to hide in the corner so that all of Mark's figures can't just run up and start bombarding him. They're going to have to come in pretty close. I'm going to take some VPs. And it looks like Mark is going to go for a planning play. Maybe he's not. See, he moved his Greedo away and... Can't really tell you what he just did to activate. Maybe he did play planning and just didn't tap his Bib, or maybe he decided not to play it yet. Yeah, it looks like HKs and Bib have both gone on Mark's side. Okay, now planning's coming out, and 2 cards get drawn. And... yeah, that's Bib's turn. Okay. And then Bib focuses, and it looks like an HK and a Tusken. So me, I'm not actually that experienced with snipers, so I kind of try to set them up for round 3, ready to take some shots at the door without being too exposed. It looks like I placed number 2 right in the open for him to get shot at, so not a very good spot for him. He honestly probably would have been better even 1 point further up on the map to protect Mando from getting line of sighted. But it looks like I'm going with Jabba, going to draw a card and focus someone. And then it looks like we're going into the next round, so still not a big heavy combat round. Still, round 2 was all about just positioning. I think it's because Mark chose to open the bottom door and I chose to follow suit. So neither of us really got too much combat. Mark didn't want to send in his units to get, destroyed by the Mandalorian. But now we're going to see these doors open up. So now, what do we have? We have a negation coming into play. There might be a card under here. Is there not? This must be getting black marketed by me, and I'm probably going to pay a point to put it in hand. Yep. Yeah, so that's from black market. So going into round 3, I've got a full set of command cards, as does Mark. We're both pretty close to full on how many command cards we have in hand. We have over half our decks, it looks like. And I can just tell you now, it looks pretty stacked. So tools for the job, rapid recalibration, heightened reflexes, planning and black market prices, so I guess I could draw more if maybe I get a turn with Bib Fortuna. Primary target, element of surprise, negation, and fuel upgrade. And then of course Mark with 3, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand. But here comes out the fuel upgrade. So this is getting played on the Mandalorian. You can use it at the start of a round, and until the end of the round, each of your vehicles gains +1 speed and applies +1 evade to its defense results. So I see that Mando is the furthest up of my characters at this point. He's still at full health, but I don't want to worry about him getting, just taken out by all these mobs. So I just give him a free evade. He comes with a free block. Yeah, let's get him back on the screen. So again, he comes with an innate block, and now he's got an evade for the entirety of round 3, and this is where I figured the round of combat was going to happen. So yeah, we're going to put that up there. So Mark actually choosing to go with his HK Assassin droids. And one of them going to run up behind this Tusken and Jawa and take a shot at my number 2, the one I said I had not placed very well. And being a focused attacker, he's going to do it with element of surprise, so there's no defense coming from my HK. Looks like I throw out a negation. I'm guessing that we're far enough in the game that I don't care about who gets initiative next round. Although, maybe that would have been good to save, but I definitely didn't want the HK to die. Wanted him to block it and survive. But then Mark going to add a wild attack, so adding a red die and a white die to the defense pool. So Mark making a 5-die attack versus my defense. However, Mark, of course, with HKs, part of what makes them so strong is that they mitigate the negatives of wild attack because they can just force me to reroll a defense die if I get that nasty dodge. And they can also reroll one of their attack dice, so any of these weak die he can reroll, probably, I would say, the yellow here. They also get priority target, so that's how he's able to shoot through the Tusken Raider there. And they have plenty of surge abilities. So, yeah, we're seeing that yellow get re-rolled. Yep, so he re-rolled my white, and I'm guessing that he has a tough luck in hand in case that rolled into a dodge. So, you know, I'm down to 2 blocks and an evade. He's got 3, 5, 6, and 2 surges. So that looks like 4 and a surge, so maybe 5 damage coming through. Oh, and then he's going to tough luck me and get rid of the white die anyways. So he really wants to confirm this kill. He's played 3 command cards on this attack. So I think Mark's plan here is to try and, you know, go and take out my HK-47 units as fast and efficiently as possible with his best, you know, alpha strikes that he can. So that I kind of only get 1 attacking unit, which shouldn't be able to win a full game against a swarm like that. And then he's going to play Shared Experience to... I think he's doing this to use Bib Fortuna's effect. Yeah, he's going to pitch it for Bib Fortuna. So now he's got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage coming across versus my 2 blocks. Am I missing something? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 damage versus my 2 blocks. So my negation was good here in that I got 2 blocks out of it and kind of forced him to play an extra command card or 2 to confirm the kill here. But in the end, he's able to take out one of my 5 attackers, my 4 HK droids, in just a single shot using a focused HK. And then looks like tools for the job being played. Looks like the top right HK here, going to take a shot at B on my side over here. So again, Mark if he's able to take out one of my focused HKs, that's me losing a lot of value here. And it looks like he plays tools for the job to add a red attack die here. He's focused, so he's rolling another 5-die attack. We're seeing a few rerolls pop out, and that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 with 2 surges, so that can be +2, 9 damage. That kills my other HK. So now, without too much effort on the second attack, he's now one-shotted 2 of my HKs. And at this point, I guess he's counting VPs, but he's moving back into his little hut where he's got all of his units in the corner at the top part of the map. At this point, though, I have actually started to worry quite a bit. I just lost a full 8 points worth of figures. He's got a full army minus a Greedo, but he's got 6 or 7 more units coming my way this round, and my 2 HKs, if they're getting one shot, time after time, I don't think I realized, he can't keep up that pressure. He's only got 3 more cards in hand, but it's just not looking good for me. I've got 3 attacking units left. But it's time to go with Mando. And so with Mando's mobile, he just kind of flies across the map, ignores the extra space that you normally would have to use to walk through the Tusken. So he's going to start here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 because of the +1 from fuel upgrade. And again, he's mobile. So he gets to just... Let's see if we can pull this up. Yeah, he's mobile with that +1 defense as well. So he just flies through the Tusken and, you know, doesn't waste any space. And then he's going to Beskar Spear. And I think I thought about this for a long time, who he was going to Beskar Spear, but I know I wanted to get a few attacks on out. So in the end, I decided to Beskar Spear the Tusken, and I think this is where it gets a little crazy. Behind that crate there is HK-47. HK-47 is arguably, well, it is the single strongest unit in Mark's list, and the most I need to worry about. If anything, especially worrying that I'm going to lose Mando after this activation and get maybe one more return fire with him, I 100% want HK-47 gone. But looking at my hand filled with Hunter cards and looking at the dice and kind of how they roll, I realized that I had a good chance to one-shot this Tusken without spending too many resources, and then also one-shot the 11 health HK-47 with the regular attack after moving 6 with mobile. So at this point, it's kind of like a big risk. If HK gets an attack, one shot from him might do 5, 6, 7 or more damage to the Mandalorian. That's like half his health. And he's going to use Mockery and get some strain off, and he might get the Mando bleeding. It's just not good. So I definitely needed to get rid of HK-47, but I said, weaker attack, it's going on the Tusken. And so with that, looks like I did play Element of Surprise here, so that the Tusken's not going to roll any defense. And then I re-roll the Beskar Spear Strike. If you're wondering how he got focused again, I believe that was just Jabba the Hutt round 2 focus on him. So this is a 2, 3, 4 damage attack. Surge for +2 and Surge for Pierce 1. So I'm currently showing 6 damage. And then it looks like, because I've got so many of my deck in my hand, I'm just like, yeah, I'll pitch black market prices for 1. And that's the 7 damage, and it kills the Tusken. And then I say, okay, regular attack. I target HK-47. That's a few weird dice to roll. Red, red, green, green coming out. Did another card get played? Yeah, okay, we played them off to the side here. Looks like I played, for this second attack, I played primary target and tools for the job. So here, Mandalorian getting +1 on the attack, focused for the attack, so that's an extra green die, and then tools for the job, an extra die of my choice, so I choose red, and so I'm rolling red, red, green, green, blue on this hit. After just decimating a Tusken, opponent gonna roll a single block. I re-roll, so it looks like I'm facing 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that's 12 Pierce 1. And I could have added 1 with Bib if need be. And I could have heightened reflexes if I needed to. And that is a very dead HK-47 in one shot. And for context, that was 2 activations taken out, or two figures taken out by 1 action. That's the Beskar Spear action on Mando. Now, yeah, there was a lot of command card support here, but that was insane. That was insane damage output here. And now, gonna recenter that. But at this point, you know, it's what is Mark gonna do to try to come back here? But I think that was the insane moment here where I just, instead of doing the conservative thing like I normally would, and just saying, okay, I'm going to put 2 attacks into this HK-47, try to take it out before it can go. It'll probably work in my favor because I have all the things stacked up. I said, I can get greedy and confidently get 2 things taken out. Not only 2 things, his strongest unit and another one of his attackers taken out in one action. And at this point, Mando's done, but he still got +1 evade for the whole round. And then the Tusken runs up. Now, I think this was Mark's Hail Mary, so he declares an attack on Mando. And I'm like, oh, yes, I am going to return fire this Tusken and take it out and get 3 in a row. And because Mando's got the fuel upgrade and the +1, this is 3 blocks and 1 evade. So this is versus the Tusken's 4 damage and 2 surges. So he's doing 1 damage and 1 surge, and I think he says, okay, I'm going to damage you for 1 and then stun you with Punishing Strike. Because the Tusken can normally... Yeah, Tusken here can normally weaken, but Punishing Strike allows him to change that to a stun. You can change any negative condition to any other one once per round. So Mando is stunned, and I'm a little sad I don't get the return fire, and he takes 1 damage from the attack. But that was basically the strongest, single thing I think Mark had planned here. Like, that was his one focused guy for the round. So he's going to run back. And it looks like he's got a +1 attack coming, so this is the other Tusken in that group making a shot. And again, I've just got so much defense, I'm only taking 2 damage from this. But now it's time to go with my HKs. I'll take a shot at one of his other Tuskens from the other group. Looks like I reroll and get nothing else on that die. So the Tusken here is going to take 2, 3, 4, 3 damage. Or 2 and a weaken, it looks like. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Because the 2 HKs I have left alive are from different groups. The Tusken's going to run away since he's weakened and doesn't want to get hit by Merciful. So before I go with the focused HK, he's going to move that guy and take the strike on Mando. Of course, because he's weakened, he gets -1 surge, you get +1 evade, so he's rolling 3 damage versus my 2 blocks, and I'm going to take 1 or 2 damage from the hit. Nice. And then Tusken loses his negative condition. And then it looks like me playing a planning with... not sure who played that yet. Looks like Bib Fortuna, and I'm guessing I learned my lesson after round 1 or 2 when Greedo shot at him. I just put him more tucked into that corner so he wasn't as exposed. Jawa gonna go up and try to take a shot at Mando. And Mando gonna say, okay, that's 1 damage. And then my focused HK looks like trying to run around to get a weird line of sight shot. Yeah, that's line of sight, but that's kind of weird. If we take a look here. Going from here to here. Because, yeah, that just crosses the top of that corner. And there. So, yeah, we hit line of sight. And he's going to take a focused shot at this HK. Rolling a lot of damage, and I'll re-roll the blue. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 7 damage. That's another dead HK on Mark's side. And then we have Opportunistic also being played by me, so I'm going to get to move someone at this point. Now, I think I wanted to do this to keep the HK safe. No, it looks like I did it to just move him further into the fray. I think at this point I saw Mando taking some heat, and I wanted to kind of throw in a bait piece to be able to attack next round, be ready to just do some damage, but also to kind of take an action or 2 away from Mando. You know, try to get Mark to basically say you have 2 problems now, pick one to deal with. What's going on now? So Bib going up. Looks like Bib is taking a shot at Mando. So again, the whole thing here is that Mark is throwing everything and the kitchen sink up at the Mandalorian at this point. And again, Mando going to block 3 of these damage, only take 1. He has now taken 7 damage and is at half health. And next round, Baby Yoda's going to start healing him. And it looks like I'm going with Jabba. And someone's making an attack. I think I just used Order Hit with HK-47 or HK Droid A, and I'm taking a priority target shot on the other HK. Yeah, because I'm re-rolling, so that's 3, 4, 5, 4 damage to him. And did I play a card? Did I put it off to the side? Yep, there's the Assassinate I must have drawn with planning. So that's going to be 3 more damage, and that HK should be gone. So yeah, even after spending all these VPs at this point, I'm up to 33. You know, the HK is doing their job, but even more so. Mark just spent a whole round of figures attacking the Mandalorian, and he's still at half health. And then it looks like I used those movement points to get away. So at this point, I've decked out with all the draw power from all of my scum support. And Mark gonna play Judlin Terror. I was not expecting this. So at the end of the round, he's gonna have his Tusken Raider move and perform an attack or action. So that's 1 more strike coming into the Mandalorian. And then I think we get a question about whether fuel upgrade works. So until the end of the round, each of your vehicles gets +1 speed and an extra evade. However, that expires before Judlin Terror, because fuel upgrade lasts until the end of the round. So as soon as the end of the round hits, it's gone. But then during the end of the round, Judlin Terror comes out to play. So Judlin Terror comes online later in the end of round step, then you discard fuel upgrade. So yeah, I think we talked about that. And I think I exhausted the child here to remove a die. I was kind of worried since this came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting a Judlin, and I'm not sure why I didn't expect it. But I get 3 blocks. I think I weaken the Tusken because it's not his activation, so weaken is going to stay on him. So Mando is going to take 1 damage here. And so for the Tusken playing Judlin Terror, I take 1 damage and he gets weakened. And then initiative passes to me. And I think I just unstun Mando and go for a Beskar Spear. Not sure who I'm targeting. Maybe Bib? Yep, targeting Bib there. So that was 3, 4, 5 damage to Bib. And then regular attack with Mando against the Tusken Raider, who is weakened, so he gets -1 Surge. And I'm just going to reroll the green die here with Professionals. That's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, Pierce 1. That's 6 damage, and I think I'm just going to pitch a card for Bib Fortuna. And that puts me over 40. That is the game right there. So I think we showed everything for the log file. We hit the end of the log file. And, you know, it wasn't about who won so much as this being a game that showed that well, not me, but just I don't feel that I have the necessary skill to run a sniper list in this game yet. And, you know, you saw my HKs get decimated early in the game, but it's almost like there was no consequence for that. You know, the Mandalorian just kind of ran up into the middle of Mark's army, started picking 2 things off at a time, and, you know, Mark needed another round or 2 to maybe take it out and have 1 guy left over. And sure, my HKs provided some support, but it's like the Mandalorian was a list on his own. And, you know, I think it's cool to see how this particular game exemplified what went on in that thread. This was many months ago at this point. And I know that Noah doesn't, when he posts videos, he doesn't like to show knockouts, like one side destroying another. But I think that the bigger point here is to show kind of why this was kind of Mando's last ride. This is the last time he got to have fun in the field and just run around and defeat stuff. Because after this, like a week or two later is when the Season 7 polls came out, and the steering community just said, or the steering committee just said, yeah, we're not doing Mando. And I think, if anyone asks in the future, guys, just point them to this video. Show them this log. Because I think it's kind of insane how much I got away with in this game. Like I said, I think Marks was a good sport about everything, and it wasn't like there was any animosity between players. It was just, this Mando stuff, it's way too strong. I went in here to try to prove a point about HKs. I wound up, sparking a little something about let's get rid of Mando. Like I said, I think he would not, something was going to happen either way. But I think, the post that we made after this game that we played, talking about Mando back and forth, kind of got the community on board and got the steering committee to take that final look and say, yeah, we are done with Mando in competitive play. This version of him is just not working, and maybe we'll see him again after the new season. When there's more lore for us to draw on, some more inspiration, new abilities. And that would be cool. I would like to see the Darksaber, allow... oh god, I'm getting into spoiler territory. Well, anyway, there's a new season of Mando out, and hopefully at the end of the season we can see more things from Mando in IACP. Have a good night, everyone.